Indian Foreign Minister S Jaishankar says New Delhi is engaging with Washington to ensure the adequate treatment of illegal migrants when they are deported.
We are, of course, engaging the US government to ensure that the returning deportees are not mistreated in any manner during the flight. At the same time, the House will appreciate that our focus should be on strong crackdown on the illegal migration industry, while taking steps to ease visas for the legitimate traveler.
The US Border Patrol chief sharing this video on social media, using it to proclaim the successful return of illegal aliens to India. But India's opposition is alleging ill treatment of the 104 Indian nationals who arrived back in their home country yesterday on a US military aircraft. Local media reporting that all on board, excepting children, were shackled for the entire flight. And Neha Poonia joins us live from New Delhi. Neha, what else did Dr. Jaishankar have to say about these allegations of ill treatment?
The critics have accused Dr. S Jaishankar, the Indian Foreign Minister, of downplaying the manner in which these Indian nationals were brought back from the US, saying he's tried to normalize what is essentially ill treatment. But the Foreign Minister's statement to Parliament came hours after he met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and briefed him on the return of what is the first batch of Indians to be expelled under President Trump's second term. Now, he told the House that what happened was as per US procedures, also saying that his government is in touch with the US to ensure that no Indian deportee is ill-treated. He also specified that there was no ill treatment and that those on board that plane were allowed to use the facilities and were allowed to get medical aid if they were needed and were unshackled for those moments. He's also said that there's nothing new about the manner in which these deportations have happened and that this has been happening for years now. In fact, he also shared data saying that since 2009, there have been 15,000 plus deportations that have happened exactly in the same manner, either on chartered flights or on military planes. And here are some more details he shared with the House.
We have been informed by ICE that women and children are not restrained. Further, the needs of deportees, including during transit, related to food and other necessities, including possible medical emergencies, are attended to. During toilet breaks, deportees are temporarily unrestrained if needed in that regard.
But, the people who've come back on these flights have been speaking to local media and they've claimed otherwise. They've said that they were shackled through what was a 40-hour flight back to India. And they've said that they were only unshackled once they landed in the city of Amritsar in North India. And that's angered members of opposition parties who've accused the government of not taking a hard enough stance on what is, they're claiming, an insult to all Indians. They're also asking whether the government was aware of the conditions under which these Indian nationals would be brought back, saying that New Delhi must take this up sternly with the US, with the Trump administration, like has happened in previous terms of other governments in power.
Neha, do you see this actually being raised when Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets President Trump in a meeting scheduled for next week? And if he does, is this likely to have any effect on, I suppose, any results we can expect from their meeting?
Well, experts have been speaking to say it's highly unlikely that India will raise this, especially given the manner in which Dr. S Jaishankar briefed Parliament and how he repeatedly referred to this being normal US procedure, talking about there being precedent with previous flights being brought to India in a similar manner as well. And, the message from the Modi government has been very, very clear that they want to, start off on the right foot with Trump's second term in the White House. House, they want to ensure that this question of illegal migration doesn't become a stumbling block for ties. You'll remember that when President Trump was sworn in, India's foreign minister was there in Washington, D.C. He held several bilateral meetings soon after. And one of the key issues that the Trump administration raised was that of irregular migration. And then India had said that it would be willing to take back any illegal national because it's not a good look for any country to have illegals living in other countries, saying this is not just unique to the US. And since then, we've seen the Modi government repeat that stance. The focus they pretty much want is on allowing legal mobility. Millions of Indians live in the US working on highly skilled visas. They're the biggest group of beneficiaries of the H-1B visa, for example. And the government wants to ensure that, their lives are not upended. There are no restrictions on their mobility. And that's something that the foreign minister referenced in his parliament speech as well. India also wants to ensure that there's no backlash on the trade front, especially given the tariffs that have been announced against some other countries, and wants to ensure that, India's playing ball with the priorities of President Trump for his second tenure.
All right, we'll see what comes out of that meeting when the leaders meet next week. Neha Poonia reporting live there from New Delhi.